So here we are in Portland, Maine on Lucky Catch. We're doing a lobster tour. That's kind of a weird thing for me because I actually went to high school in a lobster town, but for some reason I never actually got to go out on a lobster boat. So here we are. We can actually get the lobsters from the boat. Not the one we caught, but I guess they have some legal stuff or whatever. But then we can go over to Portland Lobster Company and we can eat the lobster that came out of the pots that this boat maintains. It's going to be a good time. So the ride out from Long Wharf is about 15-20 minutes till you get to the action of pulling up the pots, and you drive by the cruise ship terminals. You see some forts. You see some other vessels in the water. It's a great, great experience kind of to seeing the harbor and learning about some of the history of Portland Bay beyond the lobstering industry. And in fact, Captain Tom was a great resource for asking questions about lobstering, as well as just kind of what to do, what to see in the greater Portland area on a guy's trip. So then we got into the action. We all suited up with our rubber aprons and gloves, and you can see me there. I am helping put together a bait kit that we're going to put in the lobster traps in just a few moments. And if you don't want to get your hands dirty, don't worry. I didn't care. Some of the guys had big gloves on. I just went barehanded because that's just how I am. Seriously, if you want to just kind of chill and relax and don't want to be getting dirty with the fish, that is totally cool. But honestly, guys, if you're going to be looking for a tour like this, you should get in on the action and have some fun. And you can see from the smiles on all of our faces that we had a great time. But with the bait traps loaded, it was time to pull up some lobster traps and get the party started.
These are the ones we're looking for right here, red top, green stripe. Now the rope's gonna go around the winch. And the winch is operated by this lever right here. That's gonna pick the traps up from the bottom. We're about mid-tide right here. We're down about 46 feet deep. We've got an average of a 10-foot swing between high tide and low tide. So guys, fingers crossed. Like I said, we don't know what's gonna be in these traps until they reach the boat. They could very easily come up completely empty. You can see some other interesting marine life in there. Oh, there we go. Lobsters and crab. All right.
All right, guys. This is a Jonah crab. This is one of our native species of crabs. With a lobster license, you can eat the crabs. We just don't. There's really high labor rates around here. But that claw has some really good meat in there. That's some good stuff.
You hold that here. Hold on for a sec. This one right here, guys, that I'm holding, this is an Atlantic rock crab. So this is, it looks a lot like the Jonah crab, but totally different species. And you'll find both of these crabs on the menus of the restaurants, but nobody picks crab meat in Portland, so we don't have a market to sell these, so they gotta go back in. Alright guys, so this right here, this is a female with eggs. So the eggs under the tail. So the females will carry the eggs attached to the tail like this for 6 months to a year while the eggs mature. And then eventually they'll just float off into the water column, and it takes them about 2 weeks before they actually hatch into a little baby lobster. You guys see the eggs on that one? Wow. Yeah. 1 pound female, they've actually counted up to 10,000 eggs. Wow. Yeah.
How many actually survive?
Less than 1% is the estimate. So you can also notice, you can see the regeneration of the new claw growing back there. That's pretty common. Lobsters fight a lot on the bottom. They can regrow their claws, their legs, and even these antennas will grow back if they lose one. So every time we get a female showing the eggs, we're gonna set her free, but we also want to mark her as a proven breeder, because they've shown that once females will have eggs, they'll have them over and over and over again for the rest of their life. And lobsters can live to be over 100 years old. They never stop reproducing. So the way we mark the breeding females is we take something sharp and we make a scar on the second tail flipper from the right. See how there's already a notch in that flipper? So this lobster's been caught before, showing eggs. Lobsterman puts that scar on the tail. And that's basically like a permanent mark that lets everybody know she's a breeding female. So even after the eggs get released, every keeper we get, we have to check the sex. And if it's a female and she's got any mutilation on that specific flipper, she gets put back for the rest of her life. Okay. So this became state law back in 1933. So we've been doing this for almost 100 years. All right. There's back, its carapace. You can see where the eyes are. From the back of the eye socket right down to the edge of the back here, that has to be at least 3 1/4 inches to keep it. And on this measuring tool, you see the short side of the tool from this point to that point is exactly 3 1/4 inches. So you hook this behind the lobster's eye, pull it back so it's snug, and then watch closely to see where this point lands. When we drop it down, this one's going to be close. If it hits on the lobster's back, he's long enough. If it touches below the back, he's too short. That's super close, but what do you think? That's on. See how that's on the back, but just barely? Yeah. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Let's keep. All right, that one stays. All right, we got something to measure that one. All right, here, can I get your help? And you're busy. Can I get your help? Come on. All right, what we're going to do here is we're going to change the bait. Why don't you work on this one? You can work on that.
Do it straight up the back.
White snake slots. Those are measured escape vents that by law have to be a specified width. So the smaller lobsters, they eat for free and then they just walk right out the back. Oh. So it takes 7 years to reach keeper size. So for 6 whole years, we're basically just training them to cycle in and out of the traps, turn 7, and that's when they get stuck. All right.
Kind of morbid.
You get the two of you guys behind this trap for me, okay? Let's get the first one. Perfect.
So this trip was a lot of fun, and it's hard for me to kind of narrate this experience and talk about it when the best way to experience it is simply just to watch and look at the smiles on people's faces. Look at how much fun we had actually doing things, not just watching other people do stuff. And whether you're looking for this as a great opportunity to see the harbor, to actually see what it's like to harvest lobsters, or just spend a great day out in the water doing some fun stuff with your buddies, Lucky Catch is a great option if you're looking for a shore excursion on a Canada-New England cruise. But ultimately, the best way to experience this is listen to Captain Tom and his crew.
Grab that crab and try to toss him over. It will hurt even with a glove on if they pinch you, but see if you can get him and chuck him overboard.
Who wants to measure?
Go for it.
How bad will it hurt? You got it, though. Come on, Minnesota.
I say no.
Yeah, just shy.
Just shy, yeah.
Next year.
Probably about like a 3 or 4 year old.
This one actually has yet to molt. So by the time this one molts, we'll be able to.
Like a little 3 or 4 year old lobster here.
Oh, baby.
Just pass it through. Yeah.
David left hands.
Wrap that white string and then.
That's too short. I think we didn't get any keepers out of those two, did we? Alright, when you rewrap this new one on there,
Okay.
suspend it as high as it'll go off the bottom.
Alright, I'll
So you're
trade.
gonna kind of, yeah, you got it, just like that. Pull it up tight and wrap it around.
As high as you can on the cleat. Yeah, wrap it right around and then wrap that white string back
Yeah,
up.
then rewrap the white string over the top of it. That kind of secures it in place.
Really got that one right.
Okay, close the lid and then grab that
Close the top here.
thing right there. And then you're going to put it halfway up the trap.
Halfway up on the top.
Alright, let's see what
Guys, here goes the first one, okay? I'll tell you when.
Oh, I think that one's not fried.
1, 2, 3,
Go. Hold tight.
So after about an hour out in the water, pulling up traps, measuring the lobsters, learning about the lobster heritage of Maine, it was time to head back in. That's when the next awesome aspect of this tour became reality. Now, you guys know I love catch and cook kind of experiences, and this got to be about as close as you're ever going to get. So you can buy the lobsters from the boat. Now, these are not the actual lobsters you catch. There's some different commercial fishing regulations that they have to follow. But for $10 to $12 per lobster, you can take them next door to the Portland Lobster Company, and they'll cook up a full lobster dinner for you for $12.95. And that ends up being a huge savings over the typical price of about $30 to $40 for a lobster dinner in Portland. And I can't think of a better way to end our day exploring Portland, Maine than craft beer and lobster with some buddies. And make sure for more information about Lucky Catch and lobstering in Maine that you go visit our full article on mantripping.com.